Hey everybody, this is the latest and greatest iteration of the Infinity Cube. This particular one was being sold on Amazon under the name Lifidea, Lifidea. It was about 20 bucks and worth a look, so please stick around. Okay, so this came with a little container here, not one for unboxings, but this is what you get. It was wrapped up in this plastic bag. You get a little plastic bag with extra screws, a little note, and a key. So we have that. Extra parts are always a good thing. Then we have a note that looks like it's folded in half here. Okay. 2 screws are spare part of the screw of Infinity Cube. It's normal that screws get loosened after playing for a period of time. Just tighten it up with the Hex Wrench comes with the Infinity Cube. Please keep the spare screws and Hex Wrench for a rainy day. Okay. For a rainy day. Well, today it's not raining, but we're going to try at least taking one of these apart. That's what's interesting about this one. The last version of this I have one here. Now this is one that I messed up. This is they're both called an aluminum alloy, but they're fairly heavy, so I don't know what that might be. But this is one that I was going to try to put magnets into, and I messed up somewhere here. Somewhere in here is the tip of a drill bit broken off, so I just kept this around. But the previous version has, focus, rivets. 2 little plates and rivets at every, I don't know what you call that, intersection junction. And that's fine. But what caught my eye on this one is the fact that everything now has a little socket head screw, Allen head socket head screw. So makes it taking it apart and tightening it up easy. I did check all the screws, and when I got it, everything's tight. So I don't know how long it's going to stay that way. But it's a big improvement. I think this is worth talking about. I know some people turn their nose up at stuff like this, but you can get it on Amazon, and that was like 20 bucks, I think. 3 or 4 different colors, I think, maybe more. But compared to the old one just has sharp edges, and it was never, I mean, I've seen people that can really do some pretty fast maneuvering with one hand, and I've never quite figured out what to do. I never got that flow. Everybody says flow, and that's a good word for it. Just didn't like it, and that's what led me to put magnets on it and stuff. But this one, with its rounded edges, it just right away in your hands, it just feels softer. It lends itself to being, I don't know, it rolls in the hand better. It makes me want to explore the different positions and things that it'll do. And I think I'm going to get the hang of it, just because I like this one so much better. Now, I would hesitate to add magnets to this one. I think it would be really cool, but it is difficult to do. Like I've said before lots of times, the plastic ones I can do very easily, but not the aluminum ones. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work gluing the magnets in on top of just drilling the holes. But would I do that to this one? And I would say no. Probably not. Because if I were to sell these, all these nifty little screws that can come in and, you know, loosen up and tighten up, they all become a liability. And I would have to quality check every single one of these on top of doing my own thing to it, drilling the holes and adding the magnets and everything. And And there's no telling how many of these, without taking this fully apart, there's no telling if any of these are just barely hanging by a thread, how well they're threaded in there. That's one of the things we're going to explore this evening. We're going to pop a couple of these screws out and just see how well they did with that portion of it. We won't take it completely apart, but we'll take a look at it. Okay, so let's go ahead and, before we take it apart, do some basics here. $180 grams, let's compare that to the older one. 174 grams, must be a lot of extra weight in these. They're probably stainless steel screws. So that's the weight. I know what it is already, but we'll put her on camera here. It's the same as the old one, 40 millimeters. 40 millimeters cubed, 4 centimeters cubed. Same as this. I was kind of hoping it would be smaller, but you never can tell. They probably did state the dimensions on the sales page, but I didn't check. Okay, so I went to look to see if I had a nice hex bit that would fit, and the 5/32, the 3/32 bit that I have is just a little bit loose compared to the one that they gave me. The one they gave me is 2.3 millimeters, or approximately 0.09. And we're going to use this just so we don't risk stripping any of these out. So let's just go. Let's see, how am I doing here for focus? Good. Okay. Let's just go right here. Let's see how tight. I hope it's not too tight. It's not. Okay. Wonder how long the screws are. I'm guessing the screws come to like a dead stop somewhere here. It's not going to be a through hole that's threaded. That's my guess. Because something has to keep this screw from going down all the way and tightening down on this little... This should pivot out now. Oh, it doesn't want to pivot out. There's something else going on here. Okay, let's explore that. We'll go to the opposite side. One thing about this being aluminum, an aluminum alloy, is it's a softer metal. And a softer metal, a screw like this bites into it just a little bit better. So there we've got a couple of the screws off on that one. Let's go with taking this one off. I guess, yeah. It seems as though I'm going to have to take off both screws every time we see two of them together, even though I'm only really wanting to take out one. But I think I have to take out both because I think that bracket somehow goes down into the body a little bit. Yeah, because we've gotten all the screws taken out of this particular cube right now. And something is still holding it all together. So, let's continue. Okay, here we go. Here we'll find out what's going on. Oop, pretty quickly, I guess. So, there's a little bracket, I see. I'm starting to see what's going on here. So, the bracket has a countersink in it on one side, but not the other side. So, this would be the inside surface. And I already got a glimpse of what's going on here. There is a... There's a little cylinder, a threaded cylinder. So that's interesting. That's how they keep... That is how they keep from these screws. When you tighten them down the whole way, they don't pinch everything together to such a point that the hinge doesn't work anymore. So when the screw gets tightened down the whole way, it comes down and it rests on the ledge of that little cylinder that's on the inside. So I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty nifty. I got parts flying everywhere now. Well, let's just look at this. That's an interesting way to play with it. Actually, might be worth exploring some things here. Although I did give it some thought. I don't think that you can really rig these up in any particular different way. Maybe you could just put a couple of them together instead of all 8. But yeah, I don't think we need to really go. Well, I'll just take one more out and we're done. At least if I take this one out, we can completely remove one piece. I don't even have to take it out the whole way. Just leave it like that. There's the... Hope that's in focus. Little threaded cylinder. Appears to be threaded the whole way through. And that fits loosely, nice and loosely, into this hinge piece. And then, like I said before, the sides stick out a little bit, and that's what the screws come down and the brackets come down to rest on. So that is somewhat interesting. All right, let me put this back together. Okay, well, I sure as hell don't want to do that again. Let me tell you what I encountered there. I know it was fast, but I had to do it fast. It took a hell of a lot longer in real life. It does matter very much what direction these little brackets are in. So there is a countersink, and the countersink needs to be, you know what, just so that I'm 100% sure before I tell you the wrong thing, let's just double check. The countersink needs to be facing down or inward. That is so that the little cylinder I showed you, the threaded cylinder that's in there, rests inside of that bracket. So the countersunk part of the bracket is pointing downward. That is important. I found out pretty quickly. When I tightened it up, you'll see here when you tighten this up, everything moves pretty good. But when I did that, it locked up. But now we're back in business. So yeah, you'll have to forgive I never did get good at using this with one hand. Of course, if I use it like I try to do it with my magnets, yeah, see, that's just not the same as so I'm tempted to make one. With magnets, but I don't know. I might just be for myself because, like I said, I would have to thoroughly check all these screws, because if once I buy it and make changes to it and whatever and sell it to you, then all of a sudden the screws are my problem and not the person I bought them from. So yeah, I can recommend this certainly for 20 bucks. Amazon, probably find it for less on AliExpress. Take about 2 weeks these days. But I think we'll leave it at that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.